What is up, you butts? My name is Willie Muse, and since it's Monday, that means it's time for an episode that you guys picked. Actually, I hope it's Monday. Hopefully it's Monday. Might be Tuesday, depending on how badly I schedule my time and how long I take to edit it. Let's say it's Monday. So as always, I took your guys' suggestions and put them to the vote, and the results are in, and for the first time since the 2 times I've been doing this, we have a tie. So half of you guys wanted me to put a dildo in a slow cooker, and the other half wanted me to talk about something that I've never seen before, as though I had seen it. And, in the event of a tie, I'm just gonna do both. So today what I'm gonna do is the one that doesn't involve a dildo, because I still need to buy the dildo. And then next week, we'll do the dildo one. And that means this week we won't have a vote, because frankly, I think that posting that much on my community page is starting to lose me followers. Like, seriously, I'm losing a lot of followers since I started posting videos. It's kind of disheartening. Enough about my own shortcomings, though. Today I'm here to describe the plot of something that I've never seen before, and since I'm told it's coming back soon, and it also happens to be one of my biggest pop culture blind spots, I've decided to do my best to summarize Game of Thrones, even though I've never seen but one episode, and that episode was really confusing and really gross because it involved like a lady eating a heart or something, and I was really lost. So let's get down to business. Since there's a lot that I don't know about this show, why don't I start by listing the things that I do know about the show. Starting with the characters that I know of. So there's Khaleesi, there is Hodor, there is Dinklage, don't know his name, but it's played by Dinklage. There's the Daenerys. I'm not saying his name right, but it's got like a D and a Y in it. There is Aquaman. There are dire wolves. And there are dragons. And zombies. Oh, and Joffrey. That's a guy. He sucks, apparently. The other thing I know about the show is the fact that winter's coming, apparently. And I think that has to do with the zombies. That people die unexpectedly, often. And red wedding. There was a red wedding. It was bloody, apparently. I think that's where the red comes from. With all that said, here is what I think Game of Thrones is about. Based mostly on the name, I kind of feel like it is sort of like a really, really, really intense version of like musical chairs, kind of. Like, I think that it seems to take place in either like Middle Earth or some future where there was an apocalypse and then everyone turned British, and now there are these thrones that people are kind of scrambling to sit atop, because when you sit on one of the thrones, it gives you like a super power. Like I think that when you sit atop the throne, which I think I've seen the thrones and they're like made of swords, but I think when you sit on top of one, then you inherit whatever part of the kingdom correlating to that throne. I know that there are houses, and so I'm guessing that the thrones are the houses, and I think that one of the houses is House Lannister. He's Tyrion Lannister. That's Dinklage's name. So I think Dinklage is sitting atop the throne of Lannisterville. I think Khaleesi is also, I think she also has one of her thrones, and she has white hair. I don't know who the third throne is being occupied by, but I'm gonna say Hodor because that's the only person else I remember. And then Joffrey, I think, has the fourth throne, and Joffrey is a bad little boy, and he kind of looks like Ellen. All right, so with that in mind, the best way I can relate what I think the rest of the show is about is through the lens of a show that I have seen, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender, the first one. I think that Joffrey is kind of like the Fire Lord, where everyone else there's peace among the kingdoms and everyone was happy with their respective throne, but then Joffrey decided, he's like this young upstart asshole who decided that he wanted all the thrones for himself, so he'd be like a super powerful person. And so he declared war on Dinklage, who then kind of, I guess, maybe went into exile. I remember in the episode that I saw, Dinklage was in like a prison camp. So I imagine maybe he like got taken off of his throne and imprisoned by Joffrey, and then he kind of escapes to try and get his throne back to kind of return Lannisterville back to sort of its peaceful self. With Dinklage out of the way, then, I think that the brunt of keeping the world together falls on Khaleesi, who I think has a dragon. Like, I think, actually, maybe what happens is each throne comes with a dragon, and then, like, when Dinklage got deposed, Khaleesi got his dragon, so she has 2 dragons. Because, I don't know, I feel like there's something, I know that she has, like, a lot of dragons, or is tied to the dragons in a lot of ways. Also, I think in the episode I saw, she is the one who was eating a heart. Hodor is like a Pokemon, kind of. I think he can only say Hodor. And so I'd imagine he's kind of the comedic relief, sort of. The more I think about it, the more I say he probably doesn't have one of the thrones. Maybe he's just Khaleesi's sidekick, and maybe Daenerys has the other throne. And Hodor is just kind of there to fight alongside Khaleesi and say Hodor a bunch of times to make people laugh. Also, I think you see his dick at one point. I remember hearing people talk about seeing his dick. The other thing I know about the show, I think, is that there's a lot of brothers and sisters fucking in it. Like, I've heard it's very incesty, which is one of the reasons why I've avoided it a little. That, and because, like, too many names hurts my brain. So I think that probably comes into play, like, while Khaleesi is waging a war against Joffrey. There are people in her court who are trying to overthrow her and help Joffrey, I think. And I think that maybe they are, through incest, like, becoming power, like, they're like her two siblings, like little siblings who don't get the throne, but they make love and get married maybe to try and kind of overthrow Khaleesi. The thing that I can tell is that everyone in this world is kind of power hungry, and they're trying to take down the people who are on the thrones or get more thrones. So I think that Khaleesi has siblings who have incested together to kind of build their standing up and challenge her place at the throne. I think maybe that's what the Red Wedding was. Like, Khaleesi's siblings were getting married to try and take her place at the throne, and then Khaleesi killed them so that couldn't happen. Because I feel like Khaleesi's the good guy, but I feel like it's probably like there are no good guys, that kind of show. So maybe the Red Wedding happened because Khaleesi was keeping her power from within her court while also trying to take down Joffrey, the Fire Lord. So the thing that I can tell about the show is that there's a lot going on in it. Alexa, off. It's okay. So what I think is very appealing about the show to a lot of people is the fact that there's a lot going on at all times. So I think that on top of Khaleesi fighting people trying to take her down from within her own court and trying to keep peace among the lands with Joffrey trying to take it away, there's the third element of danger, which is the White Walkers, I think, which are like ice zombies. I think the Thrones world is like the last respite of, I think there's probably like a zombie war where they left this sort of last respite of normal old-timey British living that's kind of like in a wall away from the zombies that are kind of trying to take the sort of last vestige of Earth, of Middle Earth, wherever it is, away from the people who are in the Throne's sort of quarantine area. So while you have Joffrey fighting Khaleesi and Khaleesi fighting her incest brothers, there is like this onslaught of ice zombies that are also something that Khaleesi needs to fight in order to maintain peace in her world. And I think maybe that's what winter is coming means, is I think that the zombies probably have ice powers and they will sort of freeze. Like if Khaleesi can't maintain peace among the Thrones world and get Dinklage back on his throne and get Joffrey to stop wanting more thrones, then they will be weakened to an onslaught of ice zombies who will sort of freeze their Thrones world, Dr. Freeze style, where like there'll be like dogs peeing, and then they'll just be frozen, and everyone will sort of be kind of like a cold Pompeii if they can't all work together, get everyone on their own respective dragon and fight together to stop the oncoming winter that the White Walkers are bringing. I think there's someone named Jon Snow who plays a big part too. I know it's played by Kit Harington, so this is probably wrong, but I'm gonna say that since his last name is Snow, he's the lead zombie, and he's kind of leading the fight to bring winter. Also, there's just like a lot of fucking. I think that like between all of this, they somehow managed to kind of work in a lot of fucking. I've heard there's a lot of nudity. I think you see Hodor's dong, and I think you see a lot of dongs. So I feel like it's just like constant fighting and blood, and then like cutscene, and it's just kind of softcore pornography that hopefully isn't incesty. And then there's more fighting, and I think that's all I got. Alright, so tell me what I got wrong and what I got right in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I like having subscribers, and with each passing video I actually lose them, so let's change that, please. My ego's very fragile. Also, I guess there's no vote this week, so hold tight till next Monday when we find out what happens if you put a dildo in a slow cooker. When did this become my life? Alright, see you guys.